Hello and welcome. You are tuned in to the Power of God with your host, Shantae Washington. And we are getting off into this Freedom from the Night, Tales of the Supernatural, an ongoing situation of many who needs it and who wants it, the freedom from the night. Not only at night, but the freedom from the flesh, consistently committing adultery with the flesh. We are going off into that on the days that I'm on here, Monday through Thursday. We're going off into that. Also, this is about how much we speak on how we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I mess up. And, how we can be free from that. Every last one of us can be free from these phrases that we use every single day that's causing us to continuously make mistakes even after we say it. Okay. This is your breaking good news. Your breaking good news. And it's breaking good news not because it report nightmares like your regular reporting news does. The regular reporting news only report what it see on the surface, okay? But over here, breaking good news is from the Father. Breaking good news is from the Father, and it warns you in advance, before it ever takes place on the surface, allowing you to switch from being programmed in the mind, which is this here, the mind in the face. It switches you from there to being transformed by the renewal of your mind in the belly. Being that we are to eat of the meat of Jesus. Okay? So let's get started and get right on in to this breaking good news. I have some breaking good news. Let's get after this. So, as I get into this news, I don't know if my camera is doing what's right or doing what's wrong. I don't know. All I know is this camera is a little fuzzy over here. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So anyway. So let's get right on into the notes for today in the breaking good news. I know a lot of us are wondering out there a lot about different subjects on this word that everybody, the phrase that everybody used as an epidemic. Okay, it's a phrase everybody used, and it's an epidemic of people using it. They use the phrase, I'm not perfect, I mess up. And when they use that phrase, that's telling the next person that they're going to continuously to do the things that they're currently doing to you again and again and again. That's only surface mindedness and and rotation. So we are getting off into the freedom from the night, tales of the supernatural, which is the I'm not perfect, I mess up pandemic that's going on around us. And we can get freedom from the night. It doesn't have to be ongoing. Okay, this doesn't have to be an ongoing situation. So hold on. Freedom from the night, tales of the supernatural. And let's take this off of here. There we go. And I'm not perfect, I mess up. All right, we continuing this. We are continuing this. I am not perfect, I mess up. And the subject, hold on, I didn't write the subject. The subject today is, the topic today is, God's glory laying for feet. Okay. God's glory laying 4 feet. It's today's topic is about God's glory laying 4 feet. And this is breaking good news. Breaking good news. Very much so breaking good news. So as I get started, I noticed that the one eye is looking again. The one person is on my live again, looking. About to get started, but I don't look. I didn't go off of this because of you, honey. I went off of this because I had things that I had to do. Okay. You're not the reason why I stopped broadcasting. So you can just look all you want to. There are other things that I had to do. Anyway. So yeah. So basically God's glory laying 4 feet in a square. And this is Shantae. This is your host, Shantae Washington. That would be me. I'm your host, Shantae Washington, of this breaking good news broadcasting system. Okay. So God's glory laying 4 feet around us around about us. Let me see, how can I say this? I'm gonna say how I wrote it in my notes. So let me get started on that, how I wrote it on my notes, okay? So God's glory laying 4 feet within the square around about us. 4 feet is easily, as we know, 4 feet is easily converted, right? It's easily converted, meaning transferred into inches. Okay. 4 feet is easily converted, transferred into inches, as we know that to be in science. Okay. As we know it, okay, as we know it. So 4 squares can easily transform into a circle as well. You got it? So that means that 4 squares can easily be converted, meaning transformed into a circle as well. As we know, wheels are circles. Wheels are circles. But a while back, those same wheels were squares, correct? They were squares, and they, back in some time, it's been a long time ago, wheels were square, right? And they were trying to figure it out at that time. They didn't know exactly what they were doing. Which brings me to how a house, and I'm just going to go over this stuff briefly. I'm not going to stay stuck on explaining all this different stuff, but wherever I'm going with this, just stay to the end. You'll understand where I'm coming from the beginning to the end. If you have to rewind it from the beginning to the end to get it. Okay. Because it took me to get it too. And the Father was just loading me with stuff. So as we know, wheels are circles. But a while back, those same wheels were squares. And they were trying to figure it out back in the days. They were trying to figure it out at their times, which is why the wheels were square. Which brings me to how a house has 4 sides. Okay, a house has walls. We know that. And those walls have 4 sides, and they're square, right? And again, it's in a square. The 4 sides of those walls are in a square. And remember that in the Bible, how the house had 4 square sides, and God's angels wings came in and covered on the east side of it and the west side of it. Okay, God's angel wings came and covered the east side and the west side. Notice that it didn't have to be 4 of them covering all 4 sides of the walls. They only covered one side and another side, making it simple and plain, a circle. And that was converting, so the wings were on the east side and the west side of it, converting it into a circle formed around who? You. Okay. the circle was formed around you, the child of the Most High God. Excuse me. The wings of those angels was allowing the glory light of God to form in into you. Okay? It was allowing the glory light of God to form in, and that is into you. And the four walls of that enemy house cannot put any damage onto you, because from the Lord's angels, they're only forming around, and at any time they take form like that. And anytime they take form like that, it's because wherever God goes, that is where they follow. Okay? Wherever God goes, that's where the angels follow. They follow the Lord. Okay? They follow God. So they follow the Spirit of God. They follow the angels, they follow the Spirit of God wherever it goes. So if their wings are forming around your walls, wherever it goes, if their wings are forming around your walls, and within that is where the Spirit of God remains. And as you know, okay, and in that is where the Spirit of God remains. Within that, those angels, if those angels are around you, if those angels are around you, that means God is above you, okay? Above you. So let me take it back. In my report, it is, and I'm reporting this from the Bible. Okay, I didn't go study in other books. I studied right there in the Bible all this information because it's in there. Where I get the 4 feet from is not from science. I said science, but it's parts of it in science, of course. But where I got the 4 feet and the glory laying 4 feet, all this information is in the Bible. Okay? Which is why you have to consistently look there every single day to get things that you need to come to the surface. Okay? I didn't have to study this stuff in another book. I studied this stuff throughout the whole Bible. I don't know where everybody get their stuff from. They get it from other people, but I get my stuff from the Bible. Okay? And all of the different things, I learned some things from school and what they taught us, and I try to mix it up in here, and also college and all that different stuff that you learn in college and everything. I learned all of that, and then I turned it around, because mainly all the stuff that you learning from the scientists, you can learn in the Bible. Like, all this stuff is in the Bible. You just have to take off the political eye, which is asking questions to the wrong things. And then once you ask questions to the wrong things, then your body will follow those questions. And that'll lead you away from God, okay? Which is why in the Bible it says not to ask questions pertaining to certain things, okay? You are to keep in belief with what it is that God's plan is on your life. And a lot of us don't see that because we're using these two eyes. So we don't see that, but it is available. You don't have to mess up. Okay. It's not necessary to mess up all the time. I mean, messing up, um, if we do mess up, it says, well, hold on, let me take care of let me say this. Where I got God's glory laying 4 feet is in Ezekiel. Okay? I got that from Ezekiel. That's first and foremost. And if you look in Ezekiel, and read all of Ezekiel, because I'm not finna point out which one. No, go and read the Bible in Ezekiel. Read all of Ezekiel, because I got it from a specific one, but it's chapters to be read. Okay, it's chapters to be read. So you have to read each and every chapter in Ezekiel, and it'll let you know about where I got the 4 feet and the number 4 from. Okay, because it's in there. And the glory of God, the glory light of God that shines. Okay. And it shines within, outward. Okay. It shines from within outward. But what else was I saying? Oh, and dog, I forgot what else I was saying. And it was another part that I wanted to say as well, but I forgot. So let me keep going. I'm off what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. But yeah, the main thing is the God's glory laying 4 feet. I got that from the Bible, studying it from the Bible, okay, and Ezekiel. So let's get back in my notes because I got some breaking good news for you. Breaking good news for you. And also I sound a little tired. I'm a little tired every morning anyway. I'm a little tired throughout the day too, so it don't matter. And then sometimes I feel like this can, like, I can't hear myself, so I don't know if I'm loud or low or what. I'm trying to yell, hurt my head. Anyway, so where was I? Okay, so it says, anytime that that God's angels wings form, anytime that they form around the walls, which is when you read that Bible verse about the angels going from the east to the west with their wings. I want you to think of I want you to understand what I'm saying right now, so you will understand what it is that you're reading. That those angel wings, those were an indication of the glory light. Okay, the glory light, because and God was above that person first. And then those angels came and put their wings on the east and the west, because God was over that person. Okay. And I have seen God put wings on people as well, meaning that that person is full of God's glory. They are with God's glory, and those wings are an indication that God is there, and the angels that the angels are right there with that person, because wherever God goes, those angels follow him straight forward. Okay, as it says in Ezekiel, God goes and then they keep straight. Okay, they follow in a straight direction. Okay, in a straight direction. And as you know, I told you out there what straight mean. Straight mean sweet. Okay, sweet means straight. Okay, that's that's what it means. That's all going straight mean. Straight means sweet. Okay. And when you get to reading the Bible, you'll know what the word sweet means. Like sweet like honey. That's how things go down and form inside you. They go straight. Okay. They go in the direction of straight, which is sweet. So in my notes, it says that the enemy is placed under your feet. And it is. Okay. As that glory, the glory of God is formed around you by the angel wings going from the east to the west, okay, on two sides, forming a circle around about you, being that those four walls carry what's inside of it, right? Whatever's inside of those four walls, that the enemy is carried there, okay? But God, once you are able to get into the spirit of God, the spirit of God comes over you, and then those angels come immediately after that. They follow straight after that, like quickly, okay? They follow quickly after that. And they form their wings around the enemy's walls. Okay? This is breaking good news because, we do not have to mess up because God is near. We just have to bring him closer. We have to bring God closer, okay? Because he's already there, but our body, our inner self, have to bring it to the body and not fornicate with the body, because that's fornication. When you eat of the flesh, that is considered fornication according to the Bible. That is considered fornicating if you're eating of the flesh, okay? Because you are not to eat of this flesh here. You are to eat of Jesus' meat, okay? You are to eat of Jesus' meat, not of this meat here. This is considered fornicating. That's called fornicating. That is one of the commandments, okay? So if you're eating of this meat, or which means that you're eating of somebody else's meat, meaning that you stirring them up, frying them in the pan, like that, because once you stir a person up, you basically frying them to death. Okay, and that sweet aroma goes up. It gets sweet. Okay, the sweet that I was telling you about, straight, the sweet, that aroma goes up, and the demon gets that smell, not the angels. The demons get that smell when you're fornicating with the flesh by eating of it from anybody, meaning stirring up somebody else or stirring yourself up into being in the flesh. Okay, that doesn't have a sweet aroma to it, so the angels won't be around, and then that means God is not with you. Okay, that is indicating that God is not with you. The devil is, which makes you a lie. And if you are a lie, that means that you are against God, because God is not a liar. Okay, so we have to place the enemy under our feet, because we have been given authority to trample over the enemy. Okay, we have been given authority to trample over the enemy, being that the enemy is placed under your feet. And the enemy is placed under your feet once the glory is around you. And those angel wings go up. That's the glory of God right there. That is the glory of God right there. Those angel wings come covering those walls, those four corners of those walls. The angel wings comes and covers it. That is the glory of God. And all that is going to come beaming right on into you, right in you. Okay, so to place something at someone's feet, okay, to place something, okay, so the definition says to place something at someone's feet, as the word says, is placing the responsibility at that person. Okay, so to place something at someone's feet, as the word says, is placing the responsibility at that person. This is how the enemy becomes your friend and not an enemy anymore. As it says according to the Bible, the forming of God's glory places that enemy at your feet, and being at your feet, the enemy calls you to be placed with the responsibility and not that enemy anymore. Okay, due to that image. Okay, due to that image, the images being laid under your feet causes the enemy to be your friend, no longer an enemy, because you'll have authority over it. Okay, you'll be able to make commandments to that enemy, and that enemy must follow suit. Okay, that's how that enemy will make friends. The friend, according to the world, is being nice to people and doing that different things. That's not a God, because God didn't say be nice, he said be kind. But being kind to logical people or political people or people who just seeing with the eyes, they don't understand that. Okay, they don't understand what it is to be in a position of a king or being in a position of a queen, because they only go off of what they see with the two eyes right here. And then they trying to place a third eye there. What sense does that make? We already got a third eye. Okay? And that's Jesus, and he's in the belly. Okay? The third eye we got already is in the belly. There is no need to open this up. That's evil. That's the evil eye. You already got this, and then you want to open up this? No. Close that, and the Spirit of God, the belly, from the belly, which is why when you eat of God's meat, it becomes bitter in the belly. As it says, according to the Bible, it becomes bitter in the belly. And then you have to speak. You have to speak, okay, after that, to remove the bitterness from the belly. You have to speak after that. And that's in Revelations. You have to speak. You cannot hold that stuff in. Okay? Even though this mind tells you what to do, you're going to, from the belly, you're going to raise it up, and you're going to tell it what you gonna do, okay? From the belly. Because there is a difference. There's a difference. So whenever the living creature, according to the Bible, is above the person, that is God. And the living creatures are the angels. That's the living creature. The living creature, they call it the living creature in the Bible. Okay. So whenever the living creature is above the person, that is God. God is there. And so they follow wherever God goes. The living creatures, which the angels, they follow. And the glory lays right there at that person. The glory lays right there at that person. Again, placing responsibility at the person. And a lot of people got problems with that word responsibility. Even as a child, God has given every person the responsibility to lay the enemy at their feet. Move it around. Place it under the feet. By the renewal of your mind in the belly, not in the mind up here, not that one. That's not that is always forever thinking, plotting, and playing around, okay? All the time about all kind of different things. You have to speak whatever is in the belly. It is a must that you speak from it. Whatever is in the belly, you have to speak from it, because this here thing has a lot of stuff coming from it. The mind has a lot of things coming from it up here. A lot of negative things to say, to do. It it has been programmed for so many years. Okay? You can only trust it to do what it does. But down here in the belly is where the miracles happen. That's where the miracle takes place, because from it, once you consistently eat of the meat of Jesus, by going and learning about about him in the Bible, this will be the miracle working mind. This will be your understanding, your original understanding. Because the Father said, above all things, you are to get understanding. Get it. Mean it don't take much. Just get it. Okay? And that only the understanding that I'm speaking of, well, that the Father is speaking of, is from the belly. That's the only understanding that you are supposed to get. Meaning, say it. Hurry up and say it. Because that bitterness, if it adds up on you, you can die. And that brings me back to what I said in the beginning that I lost place of, how God said that if the people don't get it together on certain things, they, when they are messengers of God, when you're speaking things, you are to speak them. But if it's connecting with this here, which is the double-minded, that's why you have a double-minded person, because you got two minds. You got one up here, the hourglass, how it splits up. Well, that's how this splits up. It splits up from the lower portion of you and the top portion of you. Okay, this here, right here, is the mind of the devil, and the belly down here, that's that miracle right there, because you don't know how that's even able to think or even be in assuming that position of thinking. Okay, you don't even know how is this able to how is the belly able to do such a thing like speak. But it's things down in the belly that once you eat of the right things, the good things come from it, and you are to eat of Jesus' flesh. But back to what I was saying, some people, if you don't give the word out from the belly, and you got a mixture of the double-mindedness, meaning up here and from the belly, then God will, in Ezekiel, it tells you that in Ezekiel, I think it's 16 on that end. But the other ones, I can't tell you because I want you to read the whole Ezekiel. But the whole book of Ezekiel. But God says, according to the Bible, that his people will get it too. If you don't give the message out how you're supposed to give it out, and you cause harm to some people, you're going to get it. So you are going to cause death upon yourself if you don't get the understanding, no matter what the mind says up here. Okay, so uh uh as we go on in my notes, I say, which is why some of our leaders say the biggest enemy of them all is you, because the glory light lays right there at the person once God is over the person, and then those angels come forming around those four walls, making it a circle around about the person. It's no longer the four walls right there. It's now the circle that has been formed around the person. Now that places the enemy at that person's feet, and again, that enemy becomes that person's friend. So you got authority to tell that enemy what to do. You have authority to tell that enemy what to do. And and it being your friend, you tell it what to do. It does not tell you what to do. So That's what friend means according to the Bible, is whatever you whatever it is that you get from the belly, that's what you accept. All other things need to be eliminated, okay? They need to be cast out. Be cast out, be drawn out, cast down. You can cast that image. It has to be cast down and drawn out. Okay? So above all things, and the fear of that. Okay? Because fear does take place because of the enemy and its image. Okay? So the fear of that, the enemy, so let me go back into my notes, and it says, which is why some of our leaders say the biggest enemy of them all is you. Because above all things, and the fear of that, or the dread of that, or any doubt, which all of these take a form above you. Okay? All these take a form above you. Above, according to the Bible, does not mean it does not mean above does not mean over you. Okay, it's not over you. Okay, so above according to the Bible don't mean over you as in here over you, but it means above, but it means above means over you, like all around in a circle over you. Okay, above doesn't mean above here. When I say God is above you, it doesn't mean he's here. Above according to the world means over, like this, like he's over you, you looking up at him. No, it means around about you, in you, of you. Okay, that's what that means. His image is raising up like the sun on the inside. Okay, well, the sun, the S-U-N, is on the outside. That gives, that's flesh glory right there. The sun, praising the sun, the S-U-N. That's what this does. And you will find what I'm saying right now in the Bible. You don't got to go nowhere to study. You can just go in the Bible and get this information that I'm telling you right now. That the sun is for the praising of on the outside. That's body's glory. But inside, God's glory is the sun. And the sun that I'm speaking of is the S-O-N, that sun. God's glory is the sun, S-O-N. Okay? And with the sun only will you get God's glory from the inside. So the inside has a different sun that it looks up, that it looks to. Okay? And the flesh has a different sun that it looks to. And we look up at, from the flesh looks up at the sun, the S-U-N sun. And inside, on the other side, is different. The spiritual side is different than the flesh side, the dark side, the night. The sun, the S-O-N, is who the inside looks to. Okay? That is the glory light. That is the glory light. for the inside, the spiritual side. Okay. So, above doesn't mean above your head like this. Above it means around about, coming from the inside out. It's around about you, because the responsibility is with you. And don't worry, I know that people gonna close this in to political too. Even though responsibility is with you, it doesn't mean that you have to take certain things from people. Okay, I'm not saying that. And you don't have to take somebody saying back to you how responsibility is with you in such a way like they trying to make it seem like they're not responsible themselves. Okay, because we can say responsibility is with me, but responsibility is with all God's children. Okay, responsibility is with all God's children. This is not an argument, okay, because that's all we've learned as children, is how to argue this and argue that with one another. We haven't learned how to do the opposite, which is spiritually. For the spirit is praise. I mean, it's to pray. Okay, that's what we need more so than this here bodysuit. We need to pray so that the spirit can be placing all these enemies up under our feet. That image of the enemy, the giant, can be raised down, 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 because fear, dread, and doubt of your day will not remain anymore, due to the glory light of Jesus, which means God is over, meaning around about you in a circle. Okay, around about you in a circle, laying 4 feet, meaning he's not far away. It's not far away. He's right there. Okay. So over you in the English language is kind of different than over you in the biblical language. It's like totally different. English language and biblical language, they don't meet up. You know, they don't meet up. So it's like you got to do your studying from the Bible and get understanding as you eat of Jesus in the Bible, that meat, you will get understanding from the belly. That's your true understanding from the belly, the belly. So as I go on, so God's glory becomes on you, not above you, but on you every day you awake, on the 4 corners of your house. And as I stated before, the angels of the Lord follows. They go straight. Okay? And they always move forward with God, forming their wings on the east side of the wall and on the west side of the walls, forming into a circle, known in fear as the 4 walls closing in on you. Okay, they use that fear word, the fear word of the 4 walls closing in on you. Okay, I feel like these 4 walls are closing in on me. That has to be accepted. A lot of us place fear at that, but that is placing responsibility of your fear at you. You are seeing the four walls closing in on you, even as you are about to go down and fall out on the floor, unconscious. And that is because responsibility of that fear is at you. Whatever you fearing, it raises up an image. That image will form some sort of death, sickness, or disease with you that you are unaware of. And at that time, you have to understand that the responsibility is with you at that time. And at that time, fear of anything, don't allow it to take place because sometimes fear can, like I said, not sometimes, but all the time, fear can stir you up. It stirs up the body. Okay. And if you get to fornicating with that body, you don't know what's on the body. You don't know what you're fornicating with. And then all of a sudden you get a heart attack or something. Okay. Or all of a sudden you just can't breathe. Okay. That fear, that dread, or that doubt that you get, which is why the Father said, in your days, do not have these things. Do not wake up with fear, dread, or doubt, because these things stirs people up. It stir you up. Fear, dread, and doubt stir you up. And you don't know what it is stirring you up in once you stirring it up. It's called the stirring up is called fornicating. You're now fornicating with the flesh. And now you don't know what's in your flesh. And your flesh might not even be used to you doing this. Or you might not even have this feeling in a long time. So now you pop back up in flesh again. You don't know how many more people that flesh brought with it. So now you fornicating with it, being that you got stirred up of your fear, dread, or doubt, which is why God said don't do it. It's a warning, because now you are fornicating with flesh. Now you going over there in flesh, and guess what? Flesh will eat you alive. Flesh will eat you alive. Now flesh has the authority and the ability, thinking that it's got the power, the sweet, that not sweet, but that not too pleasant aroma that's not from God. Okay? It's not from God. It's from your flesh, and that alerts the beast. Okay? The beast is the devil's angel. The beast is the devil's angel. That's not to be mistaken from uh the beast being the beast of uh the Lord's you know, the Lord does use the word beast when you're in operation of him, but that beast is the Son of God. Okay, that man of God, that Son of God, SON of God. But but back to our saying, but being in fear, dread, or doubt of something closing in on you, it's all it is. It's just fear, dread, and doubt. That's it. The symptoms of that fear, dread, and doubt, meaning the stirring up of that, could be bones aching, heart pulsating fast, the blurry eyes, and then you knock unconscious, fall out, all of a sudden feeling dizzy and collapse, or something like that related to stirring up in the body, because you don't know what's in the body while you're fear, dreading, and doubting. That is you stir those things up because you're exchanging from being in the spirit to being in the flesh, and you might not have been in that area in a long time. Let's say you haven't been in that area in a long time, in flesh in a long time. Now you don't know what flesh been picked up over the years, so now you fornicating with flesh, because fornication ain't nothing but stirring that up. You stirring that fear, dread, and doubt. Now it's like, and also it's not only stirring up, could be adultery. You can stir up adultery in certain situations. You can stir up fornication in certain situations. But according to the Bible, the stirring up of anger, of fear, dread, and doubt, and you getting angry or whatever at something, or you getting frustrated at something, or you getting depressed about something, that means that you're taking it over from spirit and you're going over into the flesh. And now the flesh, and some people live in fear. Okay. Some people live in dreading of the day. Some people live in doubting of the day. So they just argue about this, argue about that. They don't know how to pray. The opposite of argue is pray. We've been taught how to argue all our life. We've never been taught how to pray. So when somebody tells you to go pray, you don't do that. You just argue about the situation. That's all we know how to do. Complain, murmur. Complain and murmur and gossip. Okay? That's all we know how to do about the situation. Complain, murmur, and gossip, because that's what we've learned to do. But the opposite of that is pray. Pray, and then pray again, and then pray again, and then pray again. That confuses the enemy right here. That confuses the enemy, and it causes this enemy to be your friend. Okay? Enemy. And this enemy is in everybody. Everybody. This enemy. Which is why when you go to somebody, it's not them per se that you're fighting. It's this enemy that you're fighting. This one. This here. The mind up here. And it's not it's and their true person is in the belly. That's what's really going on. The true person is in the belly, but it's not in operation. You got to pray for that. Before that person even just spin out, like just get dizzy because of fearing something, or just know that an argument is about to take place, or they just know that their anger is about to build up in a situation. The thing is to stir, get it down, calm, doing something calmly. That's peace. Calmly is the word peace, and it's used in the Bible as well. Calmly is peace. You're calming down yourself from allowing this enemy to overtake you at that given time. Okay? Don't allow this to overtake you. The thoughts here, those thoughts don't mean nothing. They're nothing. What's in your belly comes from your belly. Let that come. And joy is in the place of that. That's joy. That's joy. Okay? That is the true understanding. That's your joy. That's your love. Love and all that comes from the belly. Love can't come from here because you got the 4 languages of love up here. And it is through those 4 languages of love that you have to battle through every day. It's a war through it, because not everybody is on the same wavelength of the 4 of however many languages it is. Those languages that they say in the world of love is. Not everybody is on that same wavelength. So you got to love from the belly. What you eat of from the Bible, from Jesus, more so from Jesus, what you eat of from the flesh of Jesus' meat, you have to give that. This here, this is the enemy's walls crashing in, closing in on you. That's what this is here. Okay, this is false. This is the false thing assuming to be real, and when you're facing with somebody else, they dealing with the same thing. So when you're facing with somebody else, you got to speak from the belly. Go in, pray. Don't go head toe to toe with them and do any arguing or anything like that, because you don't know when will be your last time. So don't do it. Don't do it. Stay there. Let God feed you what he needs to feed you, because he's near. If his son is there and the glory of his light is coming from inside out, stand still. Pray. Ask the Father what you need to do with that time. Over this mind here, the double mind, using this and that, gonna get you in trouble. You're gonna go to war every time using two of those. The flesh side and the spirit side. Okay? You're gonna go to war every single time using that. The flesh uses this, the spirit uses that. But for the political, that don't mean that you, since you on flesh, you're going to use this. That don't mean do that. Why people just stand on every word you say? That's not what I'm saying. Oh, well, you said that the flesh do this. So I'm flesh. No, stop associating yourself with flesh. You are spirit. And for those who understand that, you'll know that on the spirit side is different than the flesh side. That's what I'm saying. Get understanding as to what I am saying by going to read the Bible, pray, meditate on that word, and then receive a word from the Father. He can speak in audibles. He can speak in dreams. He can speak in visions. He will speak, because what's in that belly will sprout out from it. Stop sprouting out from what's in this mind. Get you in trouble every time. I'm telling you, it gets you in trouble every single time. That's a double mind. Can't use both the belly and the mind at the same time. That's a double mind. Okay? That is the double mind that the Bible, according to the Bible, that the Bible is speaking of. Using this and the belly, or you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Don't do that. Stay within the spirit, children of God. This is breaking good news. This is breaking good news. And at some point, you'll understand what I'm saying. Some people, it take you to go through something to you to get back to what I'm actually saying. Might not be making sense, but it's making sense to me. And it will make sense to you once you read that Bible. So that's false. The fear closing in, the walls closing in on at you, that's false. That's an image that you need to back up. At that time when you feel like something is closing in, you say, back up, devil. Because that's your mind. Back up, devil. I'm not here to play. And you speaking from the belly when you speak it to the mind like that. That's you separating yourself from the flesh, okay? Because you ain't this. You not that. You are in the belly. So you speak to the devil in the mind. And you say, you better back up, devil. You better back up. Because today is God's day. Jesus is Lord today. Say his name. Jesus is Lord today. Jesus is Lord today. And what you'll notice is once you really believe, once you in belief of that, that dizziness spell be but a vapor. You understand? Like God said in the Bible, it's like a vapor. It'll be but a vapor. And guess what? The enemy has to flee. Okay? Yeah. According to the Bible, the word enemy fleeing, the enemy has to flee because it is like a vapor gone away. Meaning you went right back to spirit, and now your flesh got to follow suit with what you are commanding. Okay? What you are commanding. You're commanding your commandments. Okay? The same thing. They are the same thing. Commandments is the same thing as commanding. So you are making a commandment against flesh and not against God. So as I keep on going on, I say I wrote down in my notes how, again, you are your biggest enemy, not someone else. Perfect peace is calming yourself down, also known as humbling yourself. Okay, your true nature of yourself, which is your spirit. Keep it at your spirit. Do not move over here in flesh. You are not your flesh. People have got to stop saying how I'm my flesh. You are not your flesh. You want to be in flesh so bad. You're not your flesh. You are spirit. So stay there, because the sun on that side is different than the sun on this side. This side over here, sun burns. It burns you. But that sun over there, it's the glory. So from that, it just sprouts out from you. It just beams out. Okay. That sun, it just beams out. It can burn you if you're in flesh from the inside, but get out of flesh. Calm down. Calm down. Cast down that image calmly. Cast down that image. Peace. Perfect peace. Perfection is peace. Peace is perfection. We are perfect people. According to the Bible, we are. We are. This here, this bodysuit does not dictate our perfection or us being perfect. That's just the English language telling us this silly stuff. I'm not perfect. I mess up. No, we are perfect. We don't have to mess up. We don't have to mess up. We can go in and pray. Even if somebody bring it to your attention, you can't say, oh, I mess up. No, take it and then be like, go pray. Okay, go pray about that word and let the Lord tell you what it is. And then you come back again, not because of what they said. They can't make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel a certain type of way. No, you come back tenfold with God. You understand? That's what you do. You come back tenfold with God formed around you. So perfect peace, keeping you then in perfect peace. To be bound is in this mind. Okay? To be bound is in the mind. This mind right here. That's being bound. Okay? And not in the belly. Being belly is being free. Being in the belly, eating from the belly, is being free. And I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about spiritual, because the supernatural becomes physical. as you're eating from the spiritual belly, as you are reading the Bible, praying all the time and at any given time versus arguing. Okay, you have a new way of doing things. You have a new way of doing it. So you will be bound no more. Using this bounds you. This is bound. Okay, because it has so many things that it says, it does, and it attracts what it is. It attracts whatever it is. Okay, it attracts what's in it. So it's attracting what's from it. So you don't want that type of attraction. You want what the belly has. So build up eat of God's Jesus's flesh. Eat up of it so that you'll attract that. And you'll stop attracting things that you don't supposed to attract. And you'll be free. So again, Jesus died for you and me. You are free. We are all free. Okay? That's something that we need to understand. Freedom from the night. Your soul is free. Okay? And you are perfect. And you don't have to mess up. Go in and pray. Go in and pray. Because the glory of God is around about you, placing the enemy at your feet. The enemy is being placed at your feet. He does not own you. He does not dictate anything about you. Okay, the enemy is placed at your feet. And how do you do that? By going calmly, becoming calmly. And that's in Ezekiel too, about being calmly, okay? All right? Because if you're not calm, that means you're worked up. You're not in work, okay? You're not working. You're not with works. You're working up. It's a difference. You're staring up. Working up, staring up, that's working of iniquity, okay? You're iniquitizing. I'm going to say that for English language. How about that? You're iniquitizing yourself. How about that? And the sin of that is the mess up. That's the only thing that's messed up. What's messed up is that you're sinning. That's messed up. The mess up is that you're sinning and you're having fun doing it. And there is a way from being messed up and just, sinning. Iniquity. You can go into belly and begin to do the things that you need to do from the belly. Because the Father said that bitterness in the belly has to be spoken about. You have to say something. You cannot leave your mouth closed on that. And it got different things in Revelation where when it got different stories in Revelation, how when some people was left with that in their belly and they never spoke about it, they died. And the people who executed them from not being able to speak, that stirred them up in the flesh and caused the death of God's people, they will get it too. Even though God's people got it, those people will get it as well. They will be dead right next to God's people. Okay? The person who did that will be right next to God's people that died with that stuff in their belly. and didn't speak a word about what God needed them to speak of, because guess what? They allowed this to come crashing in. The closing, the four walls came in. The four walls of that flesh came in, okay? The four walls of that flesh came in. But there is a way. Build up the two parts of the east and the west wings, okay? East and west wings of the angels, okay? And that means no weapon formed against you will prosper. It shall not prosper, because the four walls ain't crashing in, ain't closing in on you no more. You can't be fear of the four walls no more, because God's angel wings covers it. That means God is near. So you need to get down on your knees and begin to pray right there and say the name Jesus and mean it. That's all. That's it. Perfection is not far away from us. It is right there underneath our feet. And when I say that, I mean by placing the enemy in his image, the giant, placing their image, casting it down, calmly become calmer and calmer and calmer with yourself. Oh, meaning you're dearly departing from the flesh. Okay, you are dearly departing from the flesh. Okay, flesh ain't got nothing on you. The true nature of you, which is spirit. And now that supernatural thing can begin from the inside out. Okay? God's glory laying 4 feet. It can begin. It can begin. Ain't nobody come within reach of the glory of God. Okay? And I pray this in Jesus' mighty name, in Jesus' mighty name, in Jesus' mighty name. Have a great day. Peace.